Okay, exam hall. Picture yourself taking a test. The outcome of the next 5 years of your life depends on how you perform in the next 5 minutes. The clock is ticking. You're about to submit this important test or exam, and your success hinges on your ability to remember all these facts and figures. And if you fail, you're probably not going to get into a good college. And if you don't get into a good college, how are you going to get a good job? And if you don't get a good job, how are you going to meet the person you thought you were going to marry and move to your dream city and buy a house and live in it and have a dog and on and on and on? Millions of people around the world experience this type of pressure to some degree, and I am one of them. Standardized testing is just one example that highlights how students worldwide are expected to learn by conforming to a narrow linear view of the world. And this type of culture, typically found in the majority of education systems, is not conducive to creativity. And today, I want to talk about why embracing the exact opposite is important and how you might go about doing that. So first, we have to define creativity. What is creativity? Well, a fellow TED speaker, Sir Ken Robinson, he's done some amazing work in this space, has the following definition. It's the process of having original ideas that have value. Creativity is the process of having original ideas that have value. Ever since I was a kid, I loved spending time in the art room. I would draw and paint and spend as much time as possible in this beautiful space where I could explore and create. And by the time I was the age of most of you in the audience over here, I started doing these really detailed photorealistic renderings and portraits of my friends. And so these were some of the images that I created when I was in high school. And over time, people labeled me as creative, and I thought of myself as being creative because I was really skilled at rendering high quality still life images. People who are in the performance arts also suffer from the same mentality. We tend to think of people as creative if they can dance, act, or play music. And herein lies a great misconception. This definition of creativity is exclusive. Creativity is actually a mindset. It's not a skill set. Say that again. Creativity is not a skill set. It is a mindset, and anyone should be able to have access to this mindset. I believe this idea has the power to transform people and institutions across the planet. The goal of education should be to create lifelong learners and independent thinkers, and not people who lose sleep over memorizing elements of the periodic table. For most of my education, I was forced to stick to a path I could not quite understand and discouraged to find my own. In rare cases, though, I have found the freedom and support to truly explore, and these efforts have culminated into the most meaningful learning experiences of my life. And studying and practicing design for the better part of a decade now has been one of these experiences. There are a lot of different interesting ways to think about design, but for me, design fundamentally is about how what's in here turns into what's out there. Our modern world is a grand tapestry of human creativity and output. Everything around you, the clothes you're wearing, the chairs you're sitting on, this auditorium, the city around you, the highways, the freeways, every single thing has been designed and created by people no different than you or I. And once you realize this, you realize that you too can make things and change things. And this is what it's all about. Every single object, system, and piece of information that you interact with every day can be crafted, and there's an ongoing relationship between how our minds design the world that we see outside, and in turn, how the world outside designs our minds. This is what creativity is all about. It's about engaging with the world in a productive way. So why bother? Why would anyone care about doing this? Well, it turns out there's two very good reasons. The first is universal. Being part of something greater than ourselves and contributing to a cause outside of us fills our lives with a sense of purpose. As globalization unfolds, the rate of change in our surroundings is accelerating, affecting everything from 10,000-year-old glaciers to the technology of tomorrow. We need a creative mindset and a creative population to tackle the challenges of the future and face the uncertainty that faces our planet. A creative mindset motivates people to come together, work together, solve complex problems, and make the world more equitable, efficient, and peaceful. And the second is personal. As the world develops, more and more people move up the hierarchy of needs described by Maslow. And the top of this pyramid is actually self-actualization. It's about finding what you love and being really good at it. More and more people have the opportunity to be in to fulfill that need, and developing a creative mindset is going to allow them to be able to get there. So I want to share with you 5 strategies that you can apply to whatever skill set it is that you already have or are pursuing and develop a creative mindset. So number 1, cultivate curiosity. I read an article that talked about how scientists studying the mechanics of curiosity find that it is at its core a kind of probability algorithm, our brain's ongoing calculation of how it's going to get the most amount of knowledge in the least amount of time. So as it turns out, curiosity is actually very goal-oriented. And so I was discussing this with my brother, and we've kind of found a silly way to think about this. You guys have played Mario, right? Think of the world as a giant Mario map, with little coins, tokens, and moons hidden everywhere. And your curiosity is going to allow you to be able to capture these. And these are wisdoms and experiences in the real world that you must learn to find and make part of your life to be able to level up and move to a greater understanding of the world. Learn new things, ask questions, seek inspiration, engage with people, travel, read books. The internet literally fits in your pocket. Cultivate your curiosity. Number 2, imagine and visualize. One of the most amazing and powerful things the human brain can do is simulate concepts and experiences. If I ask you to imagine a whale just chilling in the middle of this room, you might see a long floating creature. It's great. But what kind of a whale was it? Was it a killer whale? Was it a humpback whale? Did it have barnacles on its body? Was there light shimmering on its back? Maybe. The point is, our beliefs, experience, and knowledge about the world heavily influence our imagination. And in turn, visualizing things helps you clarify your existing ideas about the world, and more importantly, it makes room for new ones. It's like a muscle, and people throughout history have used this and leveraged this ability to literally advance civilization. People like Einstein and Galileo have been able to conceive of, describe, and prove incredibly complex concepts and theories by using their imagination. And this has helped us decode the motion of the cosmos, the nature of the world. Number 3, find patterns. Speaking of the cosmos, the underlying structure of nature is truly, truly fascinating. It's mind-blowing. Neither humans nor the things that we make are exempt from the laws of the universe. So what do you see here? This is kind of one of my favorite things to do when I'm on an airplane, is just kind of look down at the world. And this image is always really striking to me. I can't help but see rivers and see how they kind of look like trees. Seriously. Or how trees look like lightning. Or how lightning looks like the veins in your body, or the chips in your computer, or the cities that we live in. The interconnectedness of nature is truly profound and can be observed at any scale. Find patterns. Patterns help us understand the relationship of and between things and reveal the bigger picture. Number 4, practice craft. Doing something well brings us an immense sense of joy. One of the organizers contacted me in early November and asked me to do this talk. And I was super excited and I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And immediately I was hard at work. For the next 5 weeks, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. And this is what that looked like. We've all been there. But eventually, I started just scribbling things down in my notebook. I actually took it into the shower with me and would write down thoughts I had there, and began drawing things. And I began meeting with people and talking to them, and reading articles and watching videos and transcribing my notes. And a talk began to take shape. The point is that any big project that you do, you're probably not going to get it right the first time, and it requires mindful iteration. Whether you're working on a scientific theory, composing a piece of music, working on a TED Talk, it requires you to make conscious decisions and judgments and be intentional about your actions. And so practicing craft helps us make things real. This talk is far from perfect, but it is real, and it is the product of work, trying again, and wanting to get it right. And number 5, and probably the most important, reflect. A little bit of silence goes a long way. Sometimes it is the things that are unspoken that speak the loudest. Take a moment, pause, and appreciate the abundance of beauty and knowledge surrounding you. So, just to recap, these are 5 things that I've learned from all of the people that I look up to in my life and the experiences that I have, and I want to be able to share them with you. Number 1, cultivate curiosity. Be hungry for knowledge. The world is your classroom. Number 2, imagine and visualize. Turns out we have invisible muscles and you must exercise those too. Visualize your ideas and try to come up with new ways and new perspectives on looking at things. Find patterns. Patterns are everywhere and our brains are wired for it. Tune in to the interconnectedness of the world and try to look for the bigger picture. Practice craft. Work hard. Do things well. And reflect. Progressive education initiatives across the world, new types of schools are experimenting with different ways of learning, and there is still a lot of work to be done there. In the meantime, though, change can also come from within. I hope you too can use these principles to develop a creative mindset and apply it to whatever it is that you do. Break free, go beyond homework, your classroom, your job, your college, and really make the world your classroom. Find your path and follow it fearlessly. Thank you.